Namaste friend. Going on to the next verse. This is 53rd verse in the second chapter. Shruti viprati pannate yada sthasyati nischala samadhau achala buddhis tada yogam avapsasi. So what is Krishna saying? Krishna's last line in this chapter before Arjun makes his re-entry. So Krishna's last line here in this conversation at least. Shruti refers to that which is heard. Shru comes from the Sanskrit root shru, which means to hear. Shruti, which is heard. Shravan, which means to hear something. Right? So Shruti is given more importance in Indian culture than Smriti. Shrutis are the Vedas and Upanishads. Smritis are the Purans and the Ramayana, Mahabharata, all the other major texts are all Smriti. Shrutis are more authoritative. So if there is a conflict between Shruti and Smriti, we should take refuge in Shruti. So Vedas and Upanishads take precedence over Purans or other Sanskrit texts. So what Krishna is saying is, Shruti viprati pannate. Your mind, if it is confused by listening to different interpretations of Shruti, yada sthasyati nischala. You have to keep your mind stable, unmoving. Nischal. This is not nischal. Nischal would be innocent. Chal means fraud or something. Nischal, innocent. But here it is nischal. Chal means to keep moving. Nischal, non-moving. Yada, when. Sthasyati, when it is stationed, unmoving. Samadhau, locative singular. In samadhi, in deep meditation. Achala buddhis, when your intellect is unmoving in samadhi, in meditation. Tada yogam avapsisi. Then you will attain yoga. So to complete 53rd verse, when your intellect stands fixed in deep meditation, unmoving, disregarding Vedic doctrine, that's a bit harsh translation. I would say it remains unmoving even despite your confusion after listening to Vedic doctrines. Then you shall attain self-realization. Then you will attain the yoga. That's a literal translation of 53rd verse. Going on to 54th verse. As I said, Arjun makes his entry now. Arjun uvach. Arjun spoke. Third person singular. He said. Arjun said. What did he say? Now Arjun is asking. He is representing all of us. We all have these questions. Arjun is simply giving them words. The question that we already have. So question that we have is this. Sthit pragyasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava sthit dhihi kim prabhashet kim asit vrajet kim. So he's asking, sthit pragyasya ka bhasha. What is how do you describe a sthit pragya? Though one whose intellect is stable, sthit, unmoving, pragyasya of the intellect. So sthit pragya is another bahuvrihi compound. It is not karmdhara compound. Karmdhara could be simply the adjective and the noun, sthit pragya. But this is referring to somebody who has such an intellect where intellect is unmoving. So it becomes bahuvrihi compound, right? Sthit pragya se ka bhasha. So what's the language? How do you describe sthit pragya? Samadhisth asya keshava. Who is stationed, who is steadfast in deep meditation? Krishna. Keshava, synonym of Krishna. So Arjuna is asking Krishna. Sthit dhihi kim prabhashet. One whose intellect is steady. How do you define that? How do you describe him or her? Right? And finally, kim asit vrajet kim. How does he stay? How does he live? How does he move? So explain to me everything. Kim asit, to be. How is he? Is he or she? How people who are sthit pragya, how they are. And how are they? Vrajet means to move. So Vrajak is one who is moving. Vrajet, one who is, how does he move? Kim, Vrajet Kim. So now Sri Bhagavan Vach, Krishna is now ready to respond to Arjuna's questions. 55th verse now. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parth manogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sthit pragyasya dochyate. So Krishna is saying now, Prajahati yada kaman. Kam is desire. Prajahati, having relinquished, having abandoned all kinds of desires. When all desires are abandoned, right? Sarvan Parth Manogatan. Manogatan, man is mind. Manogatan, any desires that arise in mind. Sarvan, all. Manogatan, all the desires or thoughts that arise inside mind, even they are abandoned. Parth, he is talking to Arjun. Atman nye vatman tushtaha. He is self-sustained, self-satisfied. He just enjoys being. He's not desiring something else, he or she. Right? So when he leaves behind all desires, emerging from the mind, Arjun, and is contented in the self by the self. Right? His self, that is self with capital S, his being itself is satisfactory for him or her. They don't desire anything outside of them. Those are the people, those are the qualities of Sthit Prajna. Sthit Prajnas Uchyate. So that is, then they can be called as Sthit Prajna, whose wisdom is stable, not moving. 56th verse now. Dukkheshu anudvignamanaha sukheshu vigata sprihah vidarag bhaya krodha sthit dhir munir uchyate. He whose mind is not agitated in misfortune. Dukkheshu, misfortune. Anudvignamanaha. His mind is not agitated when he or she get any suffering. Even then they are not disturbed. Sukheshu, and when they get pleasures. Vigata spraha. Even they don't desire for pleasure. They don't get agitated by pain or suffering. Vitarag bhaya krodha. Vit. They are long past any kinds of attachments, any kind of fear, krodh. Their ragas are gone, their fear are gone, their anger is gone. So vitrag. Vitrag is a very technical term also in Jainism, which means vitrag is a prerequisite to become a Tirthankar, to achieve moksha. Even in Jainism, it's a very technical term. Vitrag person is the Tirthankar. Sthit dhir munir uchyate. So that is the kind of a person that Gita calls that person as a monk, as a true sannyasi, as a true muni, right? Whose meditation is stable. That person is called as a sage. So that completes our 4 verses for this week, and we'll carry on in the next episode. Thank you.